Chapter 1, The Ice Sculpture Festival. Six months had passed since the fateful Christmas Eve when Holly, Evergreen and Jack Frost had saved Merry Hollow from Frosty, Snowman's misguided plan. The town had changed significantly in that time, embracing the natural seasons while maintaining its magical Christmas spirit. As winter settled over Merry Hollow once again, the town buzzed with excitement for its newest tradition, the Ice Sculpture Festival. 6 months had passed since the fateful Christmas Eve when Holly, Evergreen and Jack Frost had saved Merry Hollow from Frosty, Snowman's misguided plan. The town had changed significantly in that time, embracing the natural seasons while maintaining its magical Christmas spirit. As winter settled over Merry Hollow once again, the town buzzed with excitement for its newest tradition, the Ice Sculpture Festival. "You know," Holly said, glancing over her shoulder with a grin, "I'm pretty sure those window decorations aren't part of the standard breakfast prep." Jack chuckled, a sound like icicles tinkling in a winter breeze. "Just adding a little ambience, my dear. It is the Ice Sculpture Festival, after all." Holly shook her head fondly, sliding the pancakes onto 2 plates. "Sometimes I think you forget we're not in eternal winter anymore. Though I have to admit, I do miss the perpetual Christmas lights sometimes." "But that's what makes it so special now," Jack replied, wrapping his arms around Holly's waist and planting a cool kiss on her cheek. "We get to appreciate the changing seasons, and still keep the magic of Christmas in our hearts." As they sat down to breakfast, the excitement for the upcoming festival was palpable. The Ice Sculpture Festival was a new addition to Merry Hollow's calendar, introduced after the town had opened its borders to the outside world. It was a way to showcase the unique blend of Christmas and winter magic that now defined their home, while also celebrating the natural beauty of the season. "So, what's the word on Frosty Iceheart's entry this year?" Holly asked, taking a sip of her peppermint hot chocolate. "I heard he's been holed up in his studio for weeks." Jack rolled his eyes, a fond exasperation in his voice. "Oh, you know Frosty. He's been strutting around town like a peacock, dropping hints about his masterpiece to anyone who'll listen. Something about revolutionizing the art of ice sculpture, whatever that means." Holly chuckled. "Well, he is talented. Remember last year's Phoenix made of ice? I still don't know how he got those flame effects without melting the whole thing." "True," Jack conceded. "But a little humility wouldn't hurt. Sometimes I think all that talent has gone to his head." As they finished their breakfast, the sounds of the town coming to life drifted through the open window. The jingling of sleigh bells mixed with excited chatter, and the occasional burst of magical sparks lit up the winter sky. "Shall we go see what all the fuss is about?" Holly suggested, her green eyes sparkling with anticipation. Hand in hand, Holly and Jack stepped out into the crisp, snowy streets of Merry Hollow. The town square had been transformed overnight into a winter wonderland even more spectacular than usual. Enormous blocks of perfectly clear ice were arranged in a circle, each awaiting the touch of a skilled sculptor. Twinkling fairy lights were strung between lampposts, casting a warm glow over the scene. As they walked, they greeted their neighbors and friends. Peppermint, Holly's young apprentice, rushed by with an armful of candy canes, nearly toppling over in her excitement. "Whoa there, Pepper!" Holly called, steadying the young elf. "What's the rush?" Pepper's cheeks were flushed with cold and enthusiasm. "Oh, Miss Holly. Mr. Jack. Isn't it exciting? I'm helping decorate the judges' stand. Did you know we have a guest judge this year? All the way from the North Pole." Jack raised an eyebrow. "The North Pole, eh? Anyone we know?" Pepper shook her head, her pointy ears quivering. "It's a surprise. But I heard they're very important. Oh, I've got to run. See you at the opening ceremony." As Pepper dashed off, Holly and Jack exchanged amused glances. "A mystery judge," Holly mused. That should add some spice to the competition. They continued their stroll, taking in the sights and sounds of the festival preparations. Vendors were setting up booths selling everything from hot cocoa and gingerbread to magical snow globes and enchanted ice skates. A group of carolers practiced their harmonies, their voices blending beautifully with the tinkling of ice chimes in the breeze. As they neared the center of the square, they spotted a familiar figure gesticulating wildly to a group of awestruck onlookers. Frosty Iceheart 3, resplendent in a shimmering blue suit that seemed to be made of ice itself, was holding court.
Ah.
And here's the man himself, Jack murmured, a hint of amusement in his voice. Frosty's voice carried across the square, full of self-importance. And I assure you, my dear friends, what you will witness today will change the very nature of ice sculpture forever. My creation will not just be a static piece of frozen water.
Oh no.
It will be a testament to the living, breathing essence of winter itself. Holly and Jack approached the group, nodding politely to Frosty. The ice sculptor's eyes lit up when he saw them. Holly. Jack. My favorite witch and frost spirit duo, Frosty exclaimed, his voice booming. Come to preview the competition? I'm afraid you're out of luck. My masterpiece remains shrouded in secrecy until the grand unveiling. Jack smiled diplomatically. Wouldn't dream of spoiling the surprise, Frosty. We're all looking forward to seeing what you've come up with. Frosty preened at the words. Oh, it will be worth the wait, I assure you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must make some last-minute adjustments. An artist's work is never done. As Frosty swept away, his ice crystal cape billowing behind him, Holly leaned in close to Jack. Is it just me, or does he seem even more frosty than usual? Jack nodded, a slight frown creasing his brow. There's something different about him. Almost like there's an extra chill in the air around him. Probably just pre-competition jitters, Before Holly could respond, a fanfare of magical trumpets echoed across the square. Mayor Cordelia Candy Cane's voice, magically amplified, rang out. Citizens of Merry Hollow and honored guests. Welcome to our first annual Ice Sculpture Festival. Please gather round the central stage for the opening ceremony. The crowd began to move en masse towards the large, crystalline stage at the heart of the square. Holly and Jack found a spot near the front, next to Noelle Mistletoe, Holly's best friend and owner of the local toy shop. Can you believe this turnout? Noelle whispered excitedly. I think we've got visitors from at least 3 other magical realms. Holly beamed with pride. It warmed her heart to see Merry Hollow thriving, especially after the challenges they'd faced 6 months ago. Opening their borders had been a risk, but moments like this proved it had been the right decision. Mayor Candy Cane took the stage, her peppermint-striped robes glittering in the fairy lights. My dear friends, she began, her voice filled with warmth, it brings me great joy to see us all gathered here today. The Ice Sculpture Festival is more than just a competition. It is a celebration of the unique magic that makes Merry Hollow special, the perfect blend of Christmas cheer and winter wonder. A cheer went up from the crowd. The mayor continued, this year, we are honored to have a very special guest judge. Please welcome, all the way from the North Pole, the head of Santa's art department and master craftsman, Alabaster Snowball. The crowd gasped as a swirl of magical snow appeared on stage, coalescing into the form of a distinguished-looking elf. Alabaster Snowball bowed gracefully, his long white beard nearly touching the ground. Thank you, Mayor Candy Cane, and thank you, citizens of Merry Hollow, for your warm welcome, Alabaster said, his voice surprisingly deep for such a small figure. I look forward to seeing the wonders your sculptors have prepared. May the best artist win. With another swirl of snow, Alabaster disappeared, presumably to take his place at the judge's table. Well, that explains the secrecy, Jack murmured to Holly. A judge from Santa's workshop? No wonder everyone's on edge. The mayor raised her hands for silence. And now, the moment, no one had an answer. As the crowd began to disperse, murmuring nervously among themselves, Holly and Jack shared a worried look. The ice sculpture festival had barely begun, and already they were facing a mystery that threatened the safety of Mary Hollow. "What do you think caused this?" Holly asked quietly, eyeing the now dormant ice castle warily. Jack shook his head, his expression troubled. "I'm not sure. But whatever it is, I have a feeling this is just the beginning." As if in response to his words, a cold wind swept through the square, carrying with it the faintest whisper of laughter. Holly shivered, and not just from the chill. Something was very wrong in Mary Hollow, and she had a sinking feeling that she and Jack were about to be pulled into another dangerous adventure. The Ice Sculpture Festival was supposed to be a celebration of Mary Hollow's new era of openness and cooperation with the wider magical world. Instead, it had become the starting point of a mystery that threatened to shake the town to its very foundations. As Holly and Jack began to discuss their next steps, neither of them noticed the small, dark figure watching from the shadows, its eyes gleaming with mischievous intent. The stage was set for a new chapter in Mary Hollow's story, one that would test the limits of Holly and Jack's magic, their relationship, and their commitment to their beloved town. The ice castle loomed over them, a chilling reminder that in Mary Hollow, even the most innocent of celebrations could hide deadly secrets.